Welcome, everyone, to the Barely Friends podcast. My name is Isaiah.
My name is Eric.
And we just had a new intro song.
Yeah. That's pretty funky.
That was great.
Yeah.
That was cool. Welcome if you're new with us. We're super glad that you are here. We are a sports podcast, two friends, love of basketball. Mainly we talk about basketball and NBA. But sometimes, like today, since there are a lot of sports intermingling, we will talk baseball and basketball and the like. So this is going to also be our Halloween special. Ooh, spooky.
We got the back. We got Waluigi.
We got Waluigi. That's Barry. He's our mascot. We haven't really introduced him because he sometimes has a bad mouth. So we usually but he likes his costume from my understanding. So I think. Whoa, Barry! I thought you said you were fine. Come on.
Yeah, you can't do this on air.
I gotta mute him. I'm sorry, guys. Hey, come on. All right. He's done. Okay. But anyway, we got Barry as Waluigi, and then that is usually my Patriots plushie up there, and now it's a pumpkin. It likes to be a pumpkin. So, but yeah, we will talk a little bit about our costumes in a sec. We weren't able to wear them today, but we will talk about it a little bit and some throwback costumes. But again, we're welcome if you are new. If you are coming from New Bedford, Fall River, or California, we are welcome here as well. Thank you for coming. Yeah, we're so glad you're here. And Eric, I just want to quickly shout out to you again. Your as an artist, you being into the music industry. How can we listen to your albums, to your music?
Yeah, very good question.
Yeah, the eccentric, Ruby, and iconic.
Oh, yes. So obviously we have that blank space there as well for a possible C album. Working title, Conte Masked. But yeah, if you want to listen on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, my artist name is E-Wreckage. So the letter E and the word wreckage. E-Wreckage. There
we go.
Yeah, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. And throughout this season, I may have different musical updates for you guys.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, we like that.
Yeah, I'll give you a sneak peek. This Friday, I'm actually getting a VIP access to Miles Smith.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
And I didn't even tell Isaiah before the show, but he's responsible for big hit songs like Stargazing. So if you guys want to check out Miles Smith Stargazing on YouTube, he has really great pop indie music. Love him.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, well, guys, listen to Eric, E-Wreckage, Spotify, Apple Music, all the like. Also, if this is the first time watching, we have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page. Please, we would love for you to follow our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where we mostly are at. But again, sometimes we're on your local TV station. So do that. Please, we would love that. Thank you. Now, because it is a Halloween special, and because we upload on a Thursday, we're going to do a throwback Thursday Halloween costume. Some of the most memorable costumes that we've had in our lives so far. Eric, would you like to start with yourself, or would you like to start with me?
Yeah, I can start it off.
Okay, great. Sorry, so I'm going to put yours on the screen, and you can just explain. So this is Mad Max, correct?
Yeah, it's Mad Max.
Okay, cool.
So as you see on the left is my brother in his Mad Max
Oh my
suit.
gosh, that's your dude. I did not know that was. I thought that was your uncle or something. Okay, continue. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's my brother. Special reveal. That's what he looks like a normal day. No, I'm just kidding. But
Jeez.
no, and that's me on the right. If you guys have watched WWE before, that is Finn Balor.
Oh, okay. Yes, Finn Balor.
So he has a special face/body paint going on. And my mom did a really great job putting that together.
Wow. Shout out to your mom.
Yeah. And obviously, our mascot has taken that championship away from me. But big respect.
Big respect. That's sweet. For some reason in my head, I thought I didn't even tie in the championship belt together. I thought you were also part of Mad Max, like just one of the, I don't know what you want to call it, but that's really cool. Finn Balor, that's one of my favorite wrestlers until he went to Judgment Day. But we won't go there. We're not a WWE podcast. Even though we will talk some WWE, we're not fully a WWE podcast. I will go next. I have two photos, and these are tandem photos with my brother with costumes. So First one is Brock and Michelle. Yeah, I won't go into this one too much. I just say I was Brock and my brother was Michelle. And I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we won the best costume for a church event. So if you can believe that at the time, that I think that happened. So, but yeah, that was one of them. But this one I'm a little more intrigued about, and this is, on the same thing, a little bit of well, not the same thing, but I'll just show it here. So yeah, this
Wendy's
is
and KFC.
yeah, Wendy's and KFC. Wendy's is your favorite restaurant, Eric, right?
It's definitely up there.
Up there. And then KFC. My brother was Colonel.
I think I just lost my appetite though.
That's good. That's good. Well, yeah. I don't know why one of us likes to dress up as a guy and one of us dress up as a girl, but this is what we kind of do. We haven't had a themed tandem costume like this in a while. I'm planning to be Bill Belichick this year. He's not gonna be. I don't know. He's not gonna be anything themed wise for that. So yeah, that is where we're at for costume. And I know you have a costume for this year as well.
Yeah. So at the beginning of the month, my uncle actually had a Halloween party.
Okay.
Lots of very in-depth decorations. He had his entire house just like plastered with different figurine. Like, it's hard to describe. It's like scarecrows, skeletons, like everything you could imagine.
Sure.
It's completely decorated. So I had to show up to this big Halloween bash, and I was the Wolverine.
Okay.
With
Yep.
Sodi. She had Deadpool.
Yes, and who is Sodi? For those who don't know.
Oh yeah, that's my girlfriend.
There we go. Okay.
And so it was kind of like, if you watch the movies, it was like Deadpool, so it's like Sodi Pool and Wolveric, like the play on the words there.
There you go. And alternate universes, right? The whole thing of Marvel, right? All about different universes.
So somewhere out there, we're in the multiverse.
Multiverse. That's awesome. That's a great idea for a tandem costume. Yeah, Halloween is going to be fun for the both of us. I don't even know what I'm going to be doing next week for it. I've already been doing some things. I did a murder mystery party, and that was pretty fun. So, but we'll see. I'm sure there'll be other things moving forward.
And you got your Belichick sweatshirt ready?
And I got my Belichick sweatshirt. I got the headset. I actually watched not all, but I watched like a good amount of highlights of the best of Bill Belichick, so I can get into theme, get into character when I go out as Bill. So
yeah. I definitely think I've seen some stuff in the past, and you definitely deserve that Oscar nomination.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, let's get into our content. Starting with some breaking news. Now, we are going to touch on, again, like I mentioned before, just a little bit of everything with sports in this breaking news section because a lot has happened. First being that the New York Liberty have won the WNBA championship. First in their history. Congrats to the New York Liberty. Again, I'm a Boston, New England fan, so I'm usually a hater on New York sports. However, I'm going to say congrats to the Liberty. Breanna Stewart came from one team, came back to her hometown, which was New York, and helped that team with Sabrina Ionescu and the crew with the championship. So congrats to the New York Liberty. However, there was a controversial call, and I don't know if you saw it, Eric, but there was a call at the end of the play. They called a foul on Stewart, and then they challenged it, and it was an unsuccessful challenge. But there wasn't much there, in my opinion. Did you see that play at the end?
Yeah, it looked like it was supposed to be 2 free throws, and they were testing whether they actually were, there's a foul happening.
Right.
Yeah. I was rooting for the Liberty on this one, so I'm a little bit biased. But
okay.
Yeah, honestly, there wasn't really much contact, if any at all.
Sure. And throughout the whole game, I didn't watch the whole game, but I was hearing from the commentators that they weren't really calling much, or that it was a lot of physicality, but like they did call a good amount, but like at the end of the game, you don't want to leave it into the ref's hands, and that's kind of what happened. You also can't make an excuse for the Lynx because they shouldn't. At times, you felt like they didn't need to be that close, and they could have won earlier game 3, when Sabrina had hit that shot from half court to tie it or to win it. Yeah, you can't make that an excuse, but a really tough way.
If I remember correctly, I think you predicted Liberty to win the championship.
I did. Thank you. Thank you. I did. One of my only predictions I've gotten correct in my whole
Last year
life.
was a little bit cold takes.
All right. We know. If you have you hear my cold takes, early episodes again. But yes, I did predict them. I did want, we both wanted the Sun to win, but I did predict the Liberty to win. So congrats again to the Liberty. We'll see what the WNBA has. I think the WNBA is in a great spot. The stars they have, the talent, it's going to be good moving forward. So next we have some baseball breaking news. We finally have the matchup that I've been waiting for, and that is the Yankees and the Dodgers. Now, Eric, I will have you say your feels because you are a Yankees fan, and I am not. I'm most certainly not. And I will explain why I'm intrigued by this matchup. But how do you feel about the Yankees in the World Series since 2009? Since 2009, it's been a while. How do you feel about them going in to face the Dodgers?
Yeah. So in terms of the crossover between the NBA, well, I'll say the NFL and the MLB, in a way, we've considered the Cowboys to be a bit like the Yankees in a sense that every year they expect to do really good things, and they followed short of expectations.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's been since 2009. And at this current point, Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, there's just a lot of great names they have right now. And I think that they're in an amazing position as a franchise. And I'd love to see, after watching them suffer for 15 years, to finally get to this big mountain. And they're only 4 wins away from becoming World Series champions once again. So that's amazing to see happen.
Yes, and I am glad that you're happy. That's how I'll play it. I'm glad that you're happy. But here's my reason why I'm excited for this matchup. 2 reasons. One, for just baseball as a whole and for the MLB, this is going to be huge. I think this is going to be business-wise the best thing you could ask for as CEO or not owner, but just if you're a part of the MLB. You are excited to see that this could bring leaps and bounds, just not money-wise, but just attention to the MLB. And so I think that is that. And for me, like, again, I'm a Red Sox fan, but I'm not a huge baseball fan. I'd rather watch Celtics, more of a Patriots fan. But I'm going to be in tune to a degree with this matchup because of the star power, not just you mentioned with the Yankees, but also with the Dodgers. Hello, Shohei Ohtani. There were slight hopes that he would be a Red Sox, but that was not happening. And he made the right decision to be a Dodger over the Red Sox. But Shohei, Freddie Freeman, and just other dogs on the Dodgers team. This is going to be really fun to watch. Really fun.
Like you mentioned too, I feel like you said it, like Ohtani, Judge, one of those two people is going to get their first ring. Yep. And baseball's kind of lacked that all-star matchup in the World Series for a while. For example, like the Houston Astros, they got a star player, but when you talk about Ohtani and Judge, you talk about the 2 biggest giants in baseball.
Yep, 100%. So you're going to talk about, again, I mentioned profit. There's going to be a lot of money in this World Series. The tickets are going to be insane, probably the highest in a long time. But it's going to be very entertaining. It's going to be good stuff. Moving on to a little bit of football. We'll talk about more fantasy football later. But right now, just a lot of teams that stink. Okay, a lot of teams that stink, and you got to start off with the Patriots. Okay, we got to start there. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars in London. Very, very sad. Their defense has just been atrocious. A little bit of hope. Drake May has been pretty decent in his 2 starts. I think 2 to 3 starts in the NFL so far. But man, we are sorry.
I think the Jaguars, right before Sunday, they were also 1-5, and they were considered a pretty mediocre team too.
Yep.
And we got destroyed by them.
I was like, this is the game where it's like, all right, we have a chance, and we got beat by 15 to 20 points. Wasn't even really close.
I feel like it's bad too when Gerard Mayo, your coach, is even saying the team's bad. So I mean, like, it's like, bro, it's your team. Fix it.
I know, and there is blame to go to Gerard Mayo. I will say, from listening to a radio show, a local radio show, specifically on football, there seems like there should be the most blame though with the owner or with the general man or with Wolf Elliott. I believe that he's the general manager. I could be wrong, but essentially who constructed this roster, and like they were essentially saying that he constructed this roster so that they can get a first round pick next year, not to really win. So is that true or not? I'm sure it's not necessarily true, but it's not good at all. And that blame has to go primarily to the GM. So
Yeah, I know we mentioned terrible teams. I wouldn't say they're really at the bottom of the pit, but I want to get your thoughts on the New York Jets.
Yeah, Jets suck. That's what the synopsis. No, they are not the bottom of the bottom, but they were planning to. They just got Devontae Adams in a trade, so you're looking at them being, this is like they're throwing all their chips in and they're wanting to really win this game. But they got duped by the Steelers team that just got Russell Wilson back, who people were, questioning why he was going to be in rather than Justin Fields, who was, not doing the greatest, but was also 4-2. And Russell Wilson just absolutely destroyed them. Like this Jets defense, who people have said have been really good, and they are to a degree good, but they were not good at all in this game. So, and I want to talk bad about any New York team, so that's my chance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that they will have a chance to get into the wild card.
Yes.
Or, be very close to it. Like I said, not bottom of the barrel, but definitely like in the lower tier, in my opinion.
Right, yeah, and they apparently have an easy schedule. I don't know. I mean, they're playing the Patriots, I think, next.
Yeah.
And they may have a bye or something like that. So, I mean, if they don't win that game, if the Jets don't win that game, that is going to be really bad on them moving forward. And then this team had a bye week, but it never hurts me to talk about this team in a bad light. And that's the Dallas Cowboys, because while they have a bye week, they still stink. They lost 2 weeks ago to I'm blanking on the team, but they lost on Jerry Jones's birthday, who is the owner of the Cowboys. They lost by a lot. To the Lions. There it is, to the Lions. And they gave up like almost 50 points, or if not 50. So I just wanted to throw them under a bus because I like to throw them under the bus.
Yeah, and to highlight a good team.
Yes.
So I feel like the NFL does work in trends as well. So it's not necessarily this team will be amazing like once we reach to around the playoffs. But right now they're the team, in my opinion, to beat. And that's the Washington Commanders. Yep, of course they just destroyed the Carolina Panthers this Sunday.
Yeah.
Obviously an easy matchup, but in general, their quarterback's doing amazing things.
Yep.
Shows a lot of potential. And I think that they will be a definitely secured spot in the playoffs.
For sure. Now, they did just, Jane Daniels, their quarterback, did just get hurt. So that is very unfortunate. However, they, like, on the first play, so, like, their backup, Marcus Mariota, came in for the rest of the game and still lit up with 40 points. So if that is any, I mean, it's against the Panthers, but still, if that is any, good news for Washington, if they can, hopefully it's not a significant injury where it's 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully it's more like 2 to 4. If they can weather the storm for these next few weeks without him, I think they'll be fine. We have some unfortunate news, but local news. But it's also WWE news. How can we have local and WWE? Well, it's because we have someone named Samantha Irvin, who has been an announcer for the WWE for, I think, specifically Monday Night Raw for quite some time. But she has just announced her retirement from the WWE. She sent out a quote, and this is from Yahoo Sports, but just essentially just on her social media. She says, WWE Universe, my time has come to an end as your Monday Night Raw ring announcer. I love you all tremendously, and this does not mark the end of my art. I have a lifetime more to share. Thank you to every WWE fan who accepted me. I mean, she was amazing at what she did, not only as an announcer, but she also sang the national anthem. Like, she has an amazing voice. She's going to be missed in the WWE. But she may not leave too far from home, Eric, right? I see her fiance, Ricochet, is going to the AEW. And I saw that there was a headline article that said, the AEW is trying to get her. So maybe she's not out of professional wrestling. Maybe still there.
I will say definitely in the career of being a professional wrestler, there's a lot of traveling on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And if, one partners with WWE, there's with AEW, they really aren't crossing paths very often. and maybe logistically it just makes sense for them to be in the same company. I mean, this is just purely speculation.
Sure.
I also heard reports that, as you mentioned, she has a really great voice, and she has interest in becoming a singer full time too.
Mm-hmm.
So I know WWE is very uptight with involvement outside of the company. So it's likely that she had to turn down offers, for example, like collaborations and other projects, because WWE said no. So it's possible that she just wants that more creative freedom and more time with her husband, fiance.
Absolutely right. It's all about what she wants to do, right? All about like it's in the palm of her hands. And even though she was really good at what she was doing at the WWE, she's probably got other aspects. And she said she's not going to leave, like essentially what she did at the WWE. She's not going to leave that aspect. But she's probably being self-reflective and saying, okay, what am I going to do? And hey, Samantha, we always have a spot for you on Barely Friends. So if you would like to come and be a guest star, we would more than likely to welcome you back, New Bedford native as well. All right, let's get into the NBA now. Basketball, we're going to be here for a little bit. We have some breaking news still coming out of the NBA. Couple of things. First, Lonzo Ball returns on the Chicago Bulls. Now, why is that such like a big thing? Well, he's been out of the NBA for a little short of 3 years, okay? And he's had multiple knee surgeries. And you had that whole Ball era. You had with LeVar and LaMelo, right? And, it was all like kind of, very like the dad and all this. Like it was kind of like, oh, these guys aren't going to be, he's overhyping these guys, overhyping his sons. But LaMelo has become really good. He's become the star of the Charlotte Hornets. And LaMelo hasn't been awful. And he played a game in his preseason, played 15 minutes. He had 11 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds off of 44% field goal range. So he looks to be back. Now, the Bulls as a whole, do they look great? Not really. Zach LaVine's still there, which is nice. Vucevic is a solid veteran, but they're still old. But it's good for Lonzo to get back there, and we'll see how he does moving forward in the season.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, LaMelo Ball, he's with the Charlotte Hornets, and he's having amazing productivity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if necessarily the Bulls or the Hornets will be a playoff team necessarily, but the Ball brothers definitely have accomplished their dream being in the NBA, and I think they will have long careers in the sense that they will be playing for the next 5-10 years.
Absolutely, yeah, and we're hoping for the best for Lonzo. They stays healthy. Because he's really good. He's really, his main thing is his passing, I would say, and he's pretty darn good at that.
Yeah,
so.
but what I respect about their father too is he got all of his sons into the NBA, and then after that he kept his mouth quiet. He was like, "All right, I did my job."
That is true. Yeah, that's right. I haven't really even heard any news since even when LaMelo became a star for Charlotte. Like nothing from the dad. So that's been really really good. That's a good point. In other breaking news, Kawhi Leonard has been ruled out indefinitely for the start of this season. We don't know the time frame. That's why it's indefinitely and not, they don't have a certain amount of time. But this is tough. This is tough, obviously, for the Clippers, obviously for the Clippers fans, because now star for the Clippers is James Harden, which you say 5, maybe closer to 10 years ago, you're like, oh, I'm happy. I want that Houston James Harden. But I don't think we're going to get that this year. So it is tough with Kawhi being hurt and out. And but your guy Kendrick Perkins, Eric, and I say that lightly because I know you're not really a huge fan. Announcing wise, player great, but announcing wise, he said that maybe it's a possibility for Kawhi to retire. Do you agree with that sentiment? And if not, where do you believe Kawhi is in the state of his NBA career?
Yeah, I would definitely say Kawhi is still at the level that he could be a starter, but he definitely will be exercising his load management. And I would say he has a good 5-year ceiling left in the NBA. It's just you're going to see him slowly decrease his productivity and his role in the NBA as we go forward. He's definitely reached his peak.
Yeah.
But for example, Joel Embiid, he says that for the rest of his career, he might be doing back-to-back games in the sense he'll play one game, miss the next game, play one game, miss the next game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's like 30, 31. So we're always seeing a point in his career where he's already on load management as well. So I think Kawhi will be able to maneuver around it and still be a productive player. Not necessarily the star anymore, I would say, but still a very influential role player.
Yes, I agree. He can be a valuable player. It's just he's off the court way too much, and it could be for fair reason with his injury history, but it's just not going to cut it. If you're going to be a star in this league, you got to play a significant amount of time, and that's not guaranteed with Kawhi anymore. So it's unfortunate because he was the claw, he was a defensive hound, but yeah, age, injury history. It's where it kind of gets you as a professional athlete. So
yeah, and like I know last year too, you were an educator. I'm an educator too.
Mm-hmm.
But imagine if we were on load management as educators. Like, oh yeah, I just don't feel like teaching today.
Yeah, I know. It hurts. It hurts your whole team. Hurts your whole organization. So
Yeah.
And Stephen A. And I don't know to a degree if this is true or not, but Stephen A. Smith on First Take ESPN, I watched him. He had mentioned that around the time that Kawhi says he's hurt, he's out indefinitely. Like usually it's a contract thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea. I didn't look into that. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, interesting all the way around. You know, hopefully Kawhi plays a good amount of games this season because the Clippers are in trouble if they don't.
Yeah,
they don't.
definitely aid for those A2 games.
Yeah,
Keep your contract.
Mm-hmm, yes, for sure. Right. Now we're gonna kind of just transition now into our main NBA segment.
The chime's back.
The chime's back. It's good. Feels good. We're gonna talk just NBA, mainly Celtics. The start of the NBA season actually starts today. It starts today. And the first game, if you can imagine, is the Celtics against the Knicks. So I mentioned last episode, I will unfortunately not be able to watch majority of the game because I will be in an improv class, or I will be in improv performance, my last class, which will be a performance. So that's a little unfortunate. It's a blessing and a curse type of deal.
Will there be a video of this improv?
You know, some of my friends who I also told about this, there will be a video. Will it be on the podcast streaming in next episode? We'll see. That is unsure, but there will be a video. It will be very interesting to see what comes out because improv, you don't know. It's improvisation, right? So, but anyway, Celtics Knicks today. Eric, who you got? Not biased, unbiased. We are Celtics podcast, but unbiased. Who you got? Celtics, Knicks, and what is the main thing to focus on with this matchup as the Knicks have just acquired Mikal Bridges and most recently Karl-Anthony Towns?
Yeah. So I have Celtics picked out for this.
Yeah.
I say Celtics are still the team to beat in the whole NBA. And while the Knicks have, in my opinion, gotten better from Karl-Anthony Towns, I feel the Celtics still have the one up on them. So the Celtics too. The big thing is we don't have Kristaps Porzingis right now, and he's actually my biggest concern with the team. When we win a championship, all the problems we have as an organization go away because like we won the championship, we did it, ignore everything else. But the fact of the matter is, Porzingis is a liability. He was with us for 3 games out of 19 in the playoffs. So if he can't be with us when we need him the most, right, then there's an issue at center.
Yep.
So we'll see how Neemias Queta, Luke Cornett, Al Horford, how they manage to fill in those shoes.
Yep.
But right now my biggest concern is Karl-Anthony Towns matching up against those guys. And going forward in the future, how Porzingis is going to be an asset for the Celtics.
Yeah, for sure. And we were super glad and happy that he was on in the playoffs and, relatively healthy for enough for us to win the championship. That injury concern is there because, like you said, Luke Cornett, Neemias Queta, we don't really have that much depth. We have chemistry now. We've been with these guys for a little bit now, so that's not a concern. But if Porzingis goes out, that's huge. The discrepancy in talent between him and the rest of our centers is pretty wide. So, but I got the same. I got the Celtics. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for Karl-Anthony Towns to get involved or get chemistry with the Knicks, with Jalen Brunson, with Mikal Bridges, and as a whole, even Mikal Bridges, like they don't even have, they haven't had much chemistry there as well. So this is going to take time for them. But this is going to be a good Knicks team. This is going to be something to watch as the Eastern Conference moves on. how good this Knicks team is going to be. But tonight, it's all Celtics. We got it. Are we playing at home?
I think so.
We're playing
Yeah.
at home, yeah. So, yeah, it's a guarantee. Guarantee we're winning first game. Now, myself and Eric, we have a couple of bold predictions coming into this NBA season. We're just trying to ruffle some, I don't know, ruffle some feathers, but just try to really expand our horizons of what could be possible in the NBA this season. And I'll get started, Eric, with my few bold predictions. We can talk about those, and then we can go into your bold predictions. But here's my first one. Wemby and the Spurs make it to the Western Conference Finals. Now, I've mentioned in the last episode that Jokic is going to be MVP again, and the Nuggets are going to be in the championship. So, if I were to say even go a step further, I could dare say that it could be Nuggets and Spurs in the Western Conference Finals. That seems to make sense. I feel like in this season too, I probably have said another Western Conference Finals, and I don't really know, but I'm going to make a staple right here, episode 4. It is going to be Spurs, Nuggets, Western Conference Finals. I already messed up with the Western Conference with the Sacramento Kings last year, okay? So, it can't go much worse than that. But that's my first one.
Yeah, so I think the Spurs, they were like near last place last year.
Yeah.
So my question is, what's the jump? Like, what do you think is going to happen this season?
Wemby.
Okay.
That's all I have. But that's why it's bold. Okay. That's why I'm not. That's why that last. I'm not confident that they're gonna make it.
Nuggets.
Yes. Yeah. Now you're gonna hold me to that, right? But it's just Wemby. That's all I have. Popovich is still there, right? I think Popovich is still working there, which is insane. But yeah, I don't really. I know I believe acquired a few pieces in the offseason, but all I have is Wemby. I don't really have much of an argument for that. That's why it's bold for me. So
yeah, it could happen.
I think they're gonna make a jump. I think that's the thing. I'm confident that they're gonna make a jump. They're not gonna be last in the West or in the play. I think they will. I think realistically, I think they can make the play-in tournament. I think they can legitimately make the play-in tournament and see where they go from there. But that is my first bold prediction. Next, we just talked about Lonzo. I believe Lonzo will be an all-star this year. I think he will have a comeback season. He's going to need to have a big season for the Bulls to make any run, in my opinion, to make it in the playoffs. And so, given if Lonzo is healthy, which is going to be a question mark, but if he stays healthy, I think he could have the numbers, and he could have and he may have the bias of just coming back from 3 years, where it's not even the stats are necessarily there. But he could be just that talented to be an all-star. So, and then the last one I have, Bronny makes it to the starting lineup before the all-star break with
that's a hot take.
That is very hot. I don't believe that will happen. That is just something I thought would be very interesting. It could be spicy. So, all right, Eric, your bold predictions.
Yep. So my first one is the Houston Rockets making the playoffs.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on top of that, Alperen Sengun, their center, becoming an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first set of predictions.
Okay. Yeah, I like. Yeah. So the Rockets still have Jalen. Is it? It's not Jalen Green.
Yeah,
Jalen Green. Yeah, I say they still have Jalen Green. I like the Sengun pick. I don't know if it's that far off for being a bold prediction, because I think Sengun is that good, and people have said he's like Jokic. He has he has similar stats to Jokic. He doesn't have much points or his rebounds, but they're similar in that sense. So I could see that as a possibility. The Rockets too, playoff bound. Do we mean that they're gonna be top 6 or that they're gonna be a playing team? What are we differentiating there?
Yeah, I think the top 10 make it to the playoffs, like the playing tournament.
Okay.
So I think they finished 11th last year.
Okay.
So I'm gonna predict they at least finish 10th.
Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, we'll take it. At least 10th.
So
fine.
I guess that's more of an italicized, not a bold prediction.
Sure, it's all right. It's all right. We'll take it.
This is the bold one, like your LeBron James comment.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe by the end of this season, so like June 2025,
yep,
Steve Kerr will be fired or quit the Golden State Warriors. And Draymond Green will be traded by the end of the season.
Oh my gosh. That is bold. You're essentially saying that, and for all you
Oh,
listeners
yeah.
from California,
Just for you guys.
is it, yeah, we're sorry, not sorry. Yeah, you're saying they're gonna blow up. You're saying that that's a bold prediction that they're gonna blow up.
I feel like Stephen Curry will be with the Golden State Warriors for the long haul.
Okay.
But Draymond Green's been hinting at his desire to move for a while now.
Yeah.
And I feel like Steve Kerr, this Warriors team, I don't see having a winning season. So once the ship starts sinking, coaches get fired. We saw Mike Budenholzer. We saw so many coaches in general.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I think the end of the era is a possibility. I mean, and maybe it's already happened. I don't believe the Warriors, if they are a playoff team, they're going to be playing. I don't believe that they'll make much noise. But I think the end of the season could be a possibility. But all that happening, Curve getting fired and Draymond Green leaving, that is a lot. That is a lot. But that is why it is bold. So there are bold predictions. We'll see what happens. We'll probably tune back into them and see where they're happening. But we're gonna transition. This is a brand new segment of ours. This is gonna be our what we call Supernova Superstar segment, and what essentially is gonna be is we're gonna highlight someone in the local area with a spectacular performance in any sport, and give them a shout out. So we're gonna need our sunglasses, Eric, for this one, because supernova, if you don't know, if anyone doesn't know, a supernova is a explosion from a very large star. I'm just looking at myself.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not seeing this. A supernova is an explosion from a very large star, and it has around 1 billion times more energy than just our sun. Okay, so superstar. We're shouting out Jackson Hart. Okay, Jackson Hart from Dartmouth High School. He's a quarterback and a defensive back, Eric. So it kind of sounds like Colorado's Travis Hunter, okay, who might get picked up in the #1 overall pick. But he ran for 2 touchdowns for 81 yards and threw for 63 yards on 8 of 12 passing. And Dartmouth now is 5-1, and they beat Barnstable High School, who is now 5-2. So they were 5-0. Now they've lost 2 in a row, Barnstable, and now Dartmouth is 5-1. So shout out to you, Jackson Hart. That's pretty incredible. You sound like a running back, though, more so than at least in this stat line, than a quarterback. So you're a running back, quarterback, and a defensive back. That's pretty incredible. So shout out to you, Jackson.
He's our supernova of the episode.
Supernova of the episode. All right, we can take these off. Take these off.
Oh, that felt good.
That was, it was dark for a second. I was scared. All right, we are going to have a very quick fantasy football update now with our new intro to Bailey Friends. I did much better this week. I did much better. Actually, unfortunately, we can't get to the picture at this time. But I will say this. I won this week. I beat my dad. I just want to give thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to say something. As commissioner of New England's very own, I will have to say this, and I'm looking dead at the league. You better watch out for my team. It says I'm 11th. It says I'm 2-5. But it also says that I had the most points against in the league. But I also I'm the first team and the only team that has 1,000 points in the league scored. So you know what that means? It means my team is good and that you better watch out because I'm coming for every single team. If you're playing me in this second half of the season, you're going down, period. That is all. That's
Bars.
Scary. That's Halloween. That's Halloween scary. You better watch out.
Bars.
Eric, I don't know. I think you're 7th in the league still, and you actually had the 4th most points in the league. I checked that. So your team is also very good. It's just been unlucky like mine. How do you feel? You feel relatively good about your team moving forward?
Yeah, honestly, I feel like I just need to keep going with the same lineup. As we previously mentioned, I did pick up Lazard and Pollard.
Right, yeah, we can, because it was a trade that we did. I got Mike Evans, which was nice until he got injured this last Monday Night Football. and I gave away Tony Pollard, who has been really good, and Alan Lazard, which now Alan Lazard, we don't know because Devontae Adams, right? We don't know. He could have less production. But, yeah, it looks a little bit better on your side, especially with the injury. So,
Yeah, I at least am happy to be possibly playoff bound.
there you go.
So
There
I'm
you go.
aiming for, like, yeah.
There you go. Nice. Yeah, for sure. You have definitely a much better chance of making the playoffs than I do. So, we'll see. All right, moving on to our What in the World segment. This segment is just about something we find strange, something we find interesting in the world of sports. Usually, sometimes we do pop culture stuff, but today we both have sports stuff. Who do you want to go first, Eric? Me? You?
You can go first at Halloween.
Me? Okay, sure. Yeah, Halloween theme. So this is Halloween. Caitlin Clark. She was with Tyrese Halliburton's girlfriend. And I apologize, I don't remember her name. But they were at a party, and they posted a picture. Now, people were commenting, not understanding who she was. Essentially, she was just in a black leather, suit, no mask, pretty plain. Okay, pretty plain. But also, it could just be logistics. If there's dancing, right? You gotta dress to impress and dress. She doesn't have to dress to impress. She's Caitlin Clark, but you gotta dress to impress and dress to, whatever activity you're doing. So. But I looked at it, and I also would not have an idea on who she was. At best guess is probably Catwoman, like everyone else said. But yeah, it's not outrageous. It's not it's not anything crazy. Like she didn't wear.
This is like earth shattering.
Right. It's not earth shattering. It's just like no one knows who she is. But it wasn't like the costume was fine. It was fine. A little plain, but it was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I have. Let's go with your one in the world, Eric.
Yeah. So mine was focused on Jaylen Brown. He's had an amazing summer. He was the NBA Finals MVP. He won an ESPY.
Oh.
He was on the cover of Time magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He released a new song with A$AP Ferg, I believe.
Okay.
And he's got his own now signature shoe line.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So he's really had a eventful summer. And I'm going to actually swivel back to a quote from Stephen A. Smith for today's One in the World.
Yeah.
But I also do want to give a shout out to Jaylen Brown about his music career. So as I mentioned, he put out a collaboration with A$AP Ferg. And, I gave him a shout out on Instagram. I put a comment. And I was like, oh, congrats. Great work. And I also said he should collaborate with E-Rackage next.
Whoa. That would be... so wait, hold on. So now we had Jaylen Brown, and we've had Ed Sheeran, and Jason Derulo. Now we're looking like a band now. Now we're looking like, what are we going to do now? But sorry, continue. Sorry.
So he ended up liking my comment.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure not much thought went into it. Like, it's not that deep. It's an Instagram comment.
Sure.
He liked it. And yeah, there's, like you said, this possibility for this collab with Jason Derulo x Ed Sheeran x myself x Jaylen Brown. So
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So if you guys are interested, I got some writing I could do for y'all. And
yeah, you gotta send out the letter to everyone and just say, hey, we can all do this. We can all make a wicked team. We could do it.
Yeah. So get back to Jaylen Brown's claims here.
Yes.
So Stephen A. Smith, during one of his episodes of First Take, he said, it's that he's just not liked because of his, and I quote, I am better than you attitude. He knows it. It's the same reason he is not marketable as he should be. That's when NBA source just sent me. And Jaylen Brown replied back to Stephen A. Smith with a tweet that said, state your source. Now, recently on the Stephen A. Smith show, Jaylen Brown actually made an appearance, and they squashed any kind of thoughts of beef. So there's good feeling between them, right? He gave him a shirt as a gift that also said state your source.
Yeah.
So there's a nice picture out there of Smith and Brown wearing their state your source shirts. But the main claim was that Jaylen Brown's not marketable and he has this bad attitude. So on the show, Jaylen Brown clarified, he said that he basically just wanted to let the person know that, and I quote, I want to send a message through you to them because you're the only person who knows their source. I basically want to say to them what I think is cowardice. So, Jaylen Brown really wasn't aiming any hostility towards Stephen A. Smith. It was more towards that source that didn't reveal themselves. But getting to that, do you agree with the source's claim that Jaylen Brown isn't marketable? And depending on your answer, how do you say he compares in marketing, considering what he's done over the summer with his, songs and shoe line and everything, in comparison to Jason Tatum?
Yeah. I will say, I think Jaylen Brown is marketable. I don't think you can say. I think it's very few people you could say in the NBA that are not marketable, and those are people you just don't. People who are name brands, I would say are marketable. Now, I think where it's interesting is I looked up, like Tatum versus Brown, Tatum versus Brown in terms of like their brands and who they, like Tatum has Jordan and Gatorade and Google. Brown seems to like just do his own thing, right? He doesn't mess with Nike, like that's a whole thing. He has his shoe line 741 shoe. So I think he is marketable. I think with Jaylen Brown's situation, it's more so the fact that I think he wants to do what he wants to do, and it may make him less marketable, but he's gonna do like whatever. He's a champion. He's an NBA champion. If you're an NBA champion for the most part, like you're gonna have some clout and you're gonna have some saying where you want to be. So he's not marketable. But I think compared to Tatum, I think he is. But I think it's not because I think it's mostly because of Brown and what he wants to do. So that's what I'll say there. All right, we're gonna close with a few questions. We didn't get questions from you all, but that's okay. You are forgiven and loved. But we have questions for ourselves, a question each that we're gonna go over really quickly. So Eric, I'll have my question for you. Because it's Halloween, who is going to be the scariest player in the NBA this season? And scariest can be up for your interpretation.
Yeah. So my interpretation is, oh no, I do not want to play that guy on the court right now.
Okay.
And my pick is Nikola Jokic. And as you know, he's been MVP the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the Nuggets lost that playoff series, I still feel like they are the team to beat in the West. So anytime you see Jokic on that court, like just be ready for his intensity, some elbows. He's not a dirty player, but every time I see this guy, his arms are just like scratched up and red. Like he will get like up on you, and
Oh yeah.
You got to be careful.
Oh yeah, he's a big fella. He's a big fella. I will quickly just say for my answer, Wemby, and just again his ability, like 7'4" or something like that, 7'5", like he's ridiculous. But also like doesn't he represent or look similar to Slenderman?
Oh yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit, right? So it could be both scary in those aspects. Eric, your question for me.
Yes. So, what NBA move would you like to see happen this season? And I'll give you a quick example. So, I talked about the Warriors franchise possibly kind of going towards the deep end this season. So, I'd love to see Stephen Curry join LeBron on the Los Angeles Lakers. Two rivals become lovers.
Yeah.
Or friends.
I would say KD to the Thunder, and that's not going to happen. But I would say just the nostalgia purpose, he was there, and if KD went back with Shai Gilgeous and with Chet Holmgren, that's a legitimate big three. I don't know if they're going to do anything with the Phoenix Suns, even though they quote unquote have a big three. I will say KD to the Thunder. That's a bold statement, but KD to the Thunder, that would be good.
And they're just like won in the West last season, right? The best team in the West.
Right, yeah, they were, essentially.
So it's perfect time for KD to come back.
I know, and I think he'd be a good piece. I don't know if they have a legitimate small forward, if I can imagine. So that'd be good for him. So, well, that's gonna conclude our episode today, our Halloween spooky special. My name's Isaiah.
My name's Eric.
We're happy, excited that you joined us today. We will see you next time. Have a good one.
See you.